We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the
zombies
began to take hold. What a piece of junk!
Hey, what up, everybody? I'm Todd.
Hey, I'm Owen. Welcome to Movie LaBuffs.
And today we're gonna be diving into
Army of the
Army
Dead.
of the Dead. Yeah, it's not a Bruce Campbell movie like I thought it was gonna be.
I thought the exact same thing, actually. Because Army of Darkness, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought of too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I hope Ash is in this one. Anyway.
Well, it does seem like it would be, right? Because all of the promo stuff. I mean, it's called Army of the Dead and they're zombies. It's the same thing as all the other...
the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, the Evil Dead.
It's Sam Raimi.
Yeah, all the other Sam Raimi movies, yeah. Like Army of Darkness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a sick movie.
I thought this would be related to that before I knew what the movie really was. I thought it was supposed to be like a sort of sequel of Army of Darkness.
Boy, it was not.
Which would have been cool.
Yeah, I think that would have been cooler.
Let's get that made.
Yeah. All right, so just jumping into it. We're doing Army of the Dead, and it stars Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Army of the Dead was written and directed by Zack Snyder. It stars Dave Bautista.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much kind of it. There's a
Tig
Notaro's in
Yeah.
it. His daughter is played by Ella Purnell. There's a bunch of kind of lesser known actors.
Yeah, the guy from Inglourious Bastards.
Which guy from Inglourious?
The German guy. The guy who's in the cellar when they're playing the card game.
Is that where he's from?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh my god, it was bugging me so much trying
What
to
do you
figure
mean
out.
a Mexican standoff? Like that
Are
guy.
you sure?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
I
him
look-
for sure. I think we
Yeah,
should,
you
but
might
I'm like
pause
99% sure that's him.
Matthias Schweighöfer.
Schweighöfer.
Who plays Dieter, the German guy.
The German, is that as he credited as the German guy?
No.
The German
No,
guy.
he's credited as Dieter. He was alright. I think I liked his character the most. There's kind of too many characters.
Oh yeah.
Right?
There's no really, I think the main one was like the big things revolving around this movie is that like this was the movie that Chris D'Elia got edited out of.
Right.
Another Hollywood fuck up. But so Tig Notaro was CG'd or green screened in all of his places.
I think, so there's some, I think they reshot some where it's just her on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when she's on the roof and stuff.
Yeah, but from my understanding, most of it had already been shot when this decision was made,
yeah.
right? To get him out of there. It's kind of funny because I remember watching it, I was like, is Zack Snyder just the king of like CGing shit out of his movies? Because if you remember in Justice League, he did Henry Cavill's mustache. He had the CG.
Why?
Because he had a contract, because he was doing Mission Impossible 5 or 6 or whatever the fuck it was.
No way.
And he had to have the mustache. That was part of his contract. He had to have the mustache to be in the movie, the Mission Impossible movie. Which, spoiler alert for that one, he's the fucking bad guy.
Okay.
He's all through the movie, he's like buddy with Tom Cruise. And I'm like, this guy looks villainous. He has a mustache.
Wait, they CG'd a mustache onto him?
No, he had it for Mission Impossible, but during Justice,
I gotcha.
when he played Superman in Justice League, he kept the mustache. They just like airbrushed it or CG'd it out or something.
Also, he's had practice. So.
Yeah. So this was like his he's like, fuck it. He's like, I've done a mustache. Now I'm gonna do a whole fucking person.
Yeah. You know, he didn't care about Chris D'Elia. He just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna replace somebody.
Yeah.
See if I can.
Which the shitty thing is about it, we'll dive into it too, obviously a bit later, but it's noticeable that you see her cut out. Like you can see the scenes.
Before you go on with that, I was gonna say I didn't know until after I watched it that she replaced Chris D'Elia.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you had no idea?
No.
Did you notice any of the scenes?
I didn't, and if I did, it was just general green screen shit. Like, if I did notice it, I didn't think that she was replaced. I would have just thought she was behind a green screen because, you know, a lot of these movies, they film that way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, at no point I was wondering if she was cut into it.
Mm. It's funny because her mannerisms and her lines are all the same lines and mannerisms that he had. They just kind of put it...
Really?
Yeah, because you can kind of see that Yeah, like I'm aware of his work. Like I've like seen him do stand up multiple times. Like obviously, like through specials we all have whatever. But yeah, you can kind of see that it's a role that's made for him, and like he's
really
it fits. Like he would have been really good in that role.
I like her in it though. First of all, I mean it's kind of a lame character, and she doesn't say much. Maybe they cut out,
but I think that's why.
Shit. Yeah. But it's kind of cooler having like a person like that being this character than Chris D'Elia, I think.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe in like 5 or 6 years from now, we'll get like the D'Elia cut and we'll be able to see him. Like actually, we know Snyder likes to do shit like that, right?
Yeah, the Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut with Chris D'Elia. But, as for now, yeah.
Wow. That would be bad. If he just releases the Snyder cut.
Does it make that fucking movie? Does it make this movie any longer? Because this movie was already pretty long.
Yeah, this movie was 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah. Do you think adding his scenes in there would have made it that much longer?
I wonder. Yeah. This movie also went through development hell, if you didn't know that.
No, I did not.
So he wrote it and wanted to make it in 2009.
Oh, so this has been on the back burner for that long.
Yeah.
This movie kind of embodies a lot of different things. It's kind of what would you say? A zombie movie meets a heist movie meets an action movie. Essentially, I think...
Which I like that kind of amalgamation of genres when they do that. It makes it more interesting. I don't want to see another zombie movie. But, a zombie movie that they're also doing like a heist, it's kind of a little different. Different enough.
Yeah, it was a little bit different.
Like, I'm not sitting here saying like this is a genius idea and why didn't anyone think of this before? But it's more refreshing then. But that's why it's interesting that this movie was in development hell for so long, because if it had come out in 2009,
this would have been huge.
That would have been a fresh take on a zombie movie.
It's been done too many times at this point.
Now it's just like
who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, essentially what it is zombies have taken over Las Vegas. They've been trying to shut down Vegas and clear the zombies. They haven't been able to do it, so they build a wall around Vegas.
Yeah.
This ragtag group of mercenary guys get recruited by this casino owner. Dave Bautista has to put a crew together. They literally go from person to person saying they're putting a crew together.
It's awful. And
it's so bad. But anyway, so it turns out there's $200 million in a vault below this zombie-infested Vegas wasteland. And they have, 96 hours to go in there, retrieve the money from the vault, and fly out from a chopper that's parked on top of...
And then if they accomplish that, they get $50 million.
Yeah, to split between them collectively.
Split between them.
Yeah, we see them go through every member of the team. You've got, a pilot. You've got, a guy who's, a vault expert. The German guy. Yeah, a demolition guy. That's Hispanic guy who shoots, 9 people at once. I was like, what the fuck?
Like, wow, that's convenient that he knows all these types of people in a quarantine zombie fucking... They're quarantined in Barstow near Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So they're also in a quarantine? Is that
I think
right?
so. I think that's what it was.
Camp?
Yeah, that's the area to keep them out, right?
Yeah, so all of Vegas is blocked off by these
shipping
containers. And then there's this camp thing outside, and they're in Barstow. But I don't understand if they're just living in Barstow because they used to live in Las Vegas, or if Barstow is also quarantined.
I think it's because they used to live in Las Vegas. Because...
Okay, actually, I am remembering.
You're starting
I think it's also quarantined because there's one of the news clips. I think they're saying, we don't know if any of them are infected or not.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think they are quarantined too. First of all, I want to say some things that I like about the premise, and that's one thing that I like, is that unlike every other zombie movie, the zombies are only in this one area. So that was my first thought, though.
It's more controlled.
But my first thought was, why don't you just nuke it? Las Vegas is in the middle of fucking nowhere. You can nuke it. You'll be fine. And I'm literally thinking in my head, I'm like, they do fucking nuke tests out there all the time. That's where they do nuke tests. And then 5 minutes later in the movie, they're...
We're gonna nuke it.
We're gonna nuke it. And the person's like, you shouldn't nuke it. It's like, we nuke it all the time. It's like, I just said that.
You guys blow shit up out there all the time. It's a desert.
But it's true. I mean, I don't think there's any more... it seems to kind of take place in a world where people have zombie culture because they call them zombies and stuff. So
yeah, they kind of do that thing they do in The Walking Dead sometimes, where they don't call them zombies, where
they call them shamblers.
Or
But they do say zombie as well.
They do say zombies, yes. Because I always love that in The Walking Dead when they're like, a biter, a walker, the dead ones, and I'm like, let's just call it what it fucking is, people.
Well, that's why it's awesome in Shaun of the Dead, right? Because Nick Frost's character is always about to say zombie.
Oh yeah, and he keeps.
And then Simon Pegg's like, no, don't say it. He's like, why? There's just a bunch of no. And they just do that joke for the entire movie, so they never say the word zombie, because every zombie movie, they never say the word zombie. This could potentially be the first movie that says the word zombie. I'm sure there's others, but it's very uncommon.
That's true. Thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, you don't really hear that in most of the other ones.
They're trying to show that zombies don't exist in pop culture.
It's not a known thing, right?
But it seems like they kind of do in this movie, and that's why I was thinking is like, so say it happened in this world, no one's gonna be like, don't nuke Las Vegas. Everyone that has seen zombie movies know that zombies take over the world. So everyone will be like, nuke Las Vegas.
Get that shit out of here.
And at that point, too, no people are in it. So it's not
they
like
just
a
got a
moral
hockey
dilemma
team
at all.
They just got a fucking hockey team.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights are still there.
Golden Knights.
Practicing and they're...
just getting nuked.
Let's talk about, Zack Snyder for a bit. So I had mentioned that this was in development hell since 2009, and which is interesting because it's very close to his first directorial debut, which he did the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
Right? So it would be kind of interesting. I wonder if this came out in 2009, if he'd be pigeonholed as
the
horror.
Zombie guy.
Yeah, zombie or horror. Well, because, now he's pigeonholed as superhero movies.
Yeah.
I guess he wants to do them.
I mean, he wanted to do Justice League, but he couldn't finish it because I think I could be wrong. I think his kid got sick or his kid died. I think actually maybe. So yeah, then someone else, Joss Whedon picked it up and then finished it.
Oh right.
And then the Schneider cut is
So Zack Snyder, this movie comes at an interesting time because, well, obviously he's always prevalent, but right now he's a meme as well because it's the release the Snyder cut thing that's been going on, which is kind of going away now that it's been released and stuff. So he did in 2004, he did Dawn of the Dead, the remake, which was I liked.
I love that movie.
We mentioned that in the last episode, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. And George A. Romero, of course, did the original, and this one had
George A. Romero was a producer on this one.
Yeah, yes, I think he was a producer on it, and then it was written by James Gunn.
Okay, the Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Right, yeah. So he wrote that one.
Did you not see that this movie had a lot of similarities to the Guardians of the Galaxy movie? I know you're not a huge superhero fan.
Well, I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I think from what I could see, I think he was trying to create something along those lines, right? Of like,
what do you mean with the
soundtracks,
crew?
Yeah, the crew, the soundtrack, the way that it was shot,
right?
The montage scenes and stuff. Like, it kind of had that feel of one of those movies.
I mean, he's worked with James Gunn many times, so
that's why, why I was looking at that. I was like, okay.
So yeah, he did that movie, which was good. It wasn't huge, and obviously it had a lot of negative reviews, mixed reviews.
Yeah.
But when he really fucking broke out was 300.
Oh, that's right. He did do 300. I just fucking watched that like 2-3 weeks ago.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing about 300 and why now Zack Snyder's a household name is because Frank Miller, who wrote the graphic novel.
Yeah.
Snyder adapted it and did a shot-for-shot remake of the movie. And that was a really cool kind of way to do it. And I think it worked really well.
Oh, yeah.
But for that reason, I think he became, this is the guy that should be making, like then he did Watchmen, right? This is the guy that should be making these types of movies.
Yeah, he's that guy.
So I wonder if it was a pigeonhole or it was...
Maybe that's something, I think it's shit that he likes to do.
Yeah,
I think he's like a comic book nerd, and he kind of likes. It's really cool. It's really cool how he was able to put this art form into that movie,
right? And so Watchmen, I don't know if you've ever read the graphic novel.
Yes, I have. Now that one's a little tricky because there's a few liberties taken with that movie.
Yes, but I think the reason why he was chose to do it is because that graphic novel's like
it's fucking long.
It is, but it's storyboarded very much like a movie.
Like, it is, yes.
The way its panels look like it's like they're shots in a movie and they're artistically, and like where the camera is very kind of artistically chosen, and it's unique and really interesting.
Which is like, why would you do storyboard if you can just use what's already in front of you, right? Like,
yeah, and since Snyder did 300 that way, I think that's why they chose him for this, and that was a a big movie as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love that movie. I mean, some people don't, and I understand that fully.
I like it too.
Like,
yeah,
the
I
purists don't like it, but and I understand why, and I get it. You fucked with the story a little, and like that's okay. But I think it looks fucking great.
Me too. I would say the first half is awesome.
Well,
second half
yes, I fully agree with what you just said
Yeah.
there. The first hour, because it's like fucking 3-hour movies. This guy
Right.
likes his long ass movies.
Right.
But yeah, the first hour and 15 minutes, it's like you're like, whoa, this is nuts, and then you're kind of like, okay, like
Yeah, it kind of gets.
it kind of gets a
lame.
little stale. Yeah, lame. Yeah.
Okay, and then so then Snyder did next. I think it was he did Man of
Mhm.
Steel, and then which everyone hates, and then he did Batman v Superman,
Which everyone hates.
which everyone hates, and then I guess it's Justice League,
Which everyone hates.
and then Justice League Snyder
Which I'm not sure what people's opinion is on that.
Cut.
Because I haven't seen that
Oh,
one.
you haven't? Okay.
I've only seen the original one.
I was gonna ask you,
and I
okay.
didn't like it.
Well, what I heard from that is just basically it's like people are like it's okay. Some people think it's better.
I'm
but
sure it is better. And if you like...
I'm sure it is, but here's the thing: if there's a small cut of this superhero movie that everyone hates, and they're like release the 4-hour version, do you think they just cut out all the good scenes? Like,
I don't know.
I don't.
I think if the movie's shit, it's shit. I don't think
Yeah.
you can save it by just adding more scenes that like weren't in it. Like, you know how
Yeah.
everyone was arguing with Suicide Squad where Jared Leto was like, well, my character would have been better, but he was taken out of the movie. And I was like, would that really have made it better? It was like, would
Yeah.
that really have made the difference? I don't think so. I think it was a piece of shit to begin with. And yeah. You know.
I think there's many circumstances where, you know, the director is told, like, no, don't do this by the producers, so their version would be a lot better. But I don't think that's necessarily the situation with this movie.
I just think that Warner Brothers is was trying to like compete at that time with like Marvel and and Disney, and they just can't. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, they're trying to put out these epic like superhero movies, you know, their answer to the Avengers, and it's just people are just like it's capitalism, right? Best product wins, right? People are like, we're gonna take that one that looks 10 times better. Because
and at the end of the day, that's what they're trying to make the biggest movie in the world. So they're not like even Zack Snyder making it isn't going to make this artistic, like interesting movie that people would consider to be, I guess, artistically like good or whatever.
Yeah.
Because your goal is still to sell and make the most money when you're making a superhero movie this size.
Yeah.
So
and I think you still need the pieces around you, because like he had like Ben Affleck really phoned it in for that shit. You know, the CG was not very good. It's just it's kind of set up for failure at that point.
Yeah. So what happened with the development hell with this movie, Army of the Dead, was Zack Snyder wrote it in 2009, and then he didn't want to direct it because I think he took on Watchmen.
Okay.
He was asked to do Watchmen or whatever he was asked to do. He was like, okay, so they were looking for another director. And that's kind of where it kind of bounced back and forth. I also think that maybe the script was terrible.
I would not be surprised.
Because there's 2 other writers on this movie, Army of the Dead, and they seem to be script cleanup guys, is my guess.
Okay.
Right?
Because there are a few things that we'll get into. We'll get into a little bit. I think Batista, like putting him in these roles, like, I mean, I guess that makes sense now. It comes back to the James Gunn thing because he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. That's probably why they picked him, obviously.
And he's very liked right now.
I think so.
People want him to be in movies because he's a good character in Guardians of the Galaxy and, you know, one of the favorites.
He's a likable character.
Yeah, so he actually turned down, I guess they're making another Suicide Squad, right?
Are they?
I
Yeah,
think so.
they are.
So,
Yeah.
so I think he turned down Suicide Squad to do this movie.
I'm going to say it was a good call on his part. I mean,
Was
I
it?
don't know what the other Suicide Squad's going to look like.
Either movie, I don't know. But it could be that he gets to be a lead.
I think that's what he's looking for, because I'm starting to see him in a bit more of leads. I saw a really bad movie with him and Camille Nanjiani in it, where Camille Nanjiani's an Uber driver. It was not very good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what was that called again?
Stuber, something
Right,
like that.
right,
I don't
right.
know. But either way, I don't know. I mean, I think he can handle I think he can anchor a cast on his own. I think it was.
Well,
he did an alright job.
Yeah, he did, and he had to in this because every other character and actor has like a couple lines, really.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's kind of like they're just there.
Anna de la Reguera, like she was the nun in Nacho Libre, by the way, that he has a crush on.
Oh, gee, the toast.
But
they are my stretchy pants.
But yeah, so she plays kind of like a love interest, but in only one line,
in like one scene.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Anthony Mackie wasn't in this. That guy seems to be in fucking everything now.
Who's that?
Anthony Mackie's the guy who played like Falcon. No, but not even just that. He's in like everything. Like, you might remember him best as he played Tupac in the flick Notorious.
Oh, did he?
He was Eminem's rival in 8 Mile. He was the guy who rap battles against them.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, but he's in fucking everything now. And for some reason I thought he was in this, and then I saw the other actor that was in it, and I was like, oh, that's not Anthony Mackie. I was like, I'm surprised. But that guy was really good too. I can't remember what his name was off the top of my head.
Omari Hardwick.
Yes, I liked him.
He played like the demolition
guy, yeah, and he had that fucking the
circular
saw,
yeah. Circular saw.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like obviously Tig Notaro, like she's like very like deadpan in this too, kind of.
Yeah, she was fine. I was confused why she was in it the whole time.
It's because they had to cover up the Leah things,
I guess.
And I know you can't. You did. It's funny that I wish you had known about it too, because there's a scene in it where she's holding like a helicopter and she's showing like it's kind of like the break when they're showing like the heist and how they're gonna land the helicopter.
Yeah.
And you can just blatantly see that it's like green screened in because it's all pixelated in the background. And I was like, oh no, it's like
true.
But yeah, there's a couple of those scenes that you watch for them, you can see them. Outside of that, yeah, you're right. Like the cast is very like you don't get attached to anybody.
The characters like seem like they have some sort of like if they were expanded on, they'd have a little bit more depth to them, which was actually.
But the movie's already 2.5 hours. How much more
character? I know.
How much more character development can you really get into?
And they do those stupid fucking side talks.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that
I love those.
And there's so many, and they're in like crucial moments. I'm like, why are you having an aside talking to each other when there's fucking zombies coming at you or whatever?
Dave Bautista, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like fucking MacGruber when he's getting all the wrestlers together. Should just put MacGruber in this movie. That would have made Forte in this.
That would have been better.
Forte in place of fucking Delia's character. That would have been so much better.
That would have been great. Yeah.
I think Forte would have been the best in that role.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking God.
Play it a little funnier than Tig Notaro's deadpan, I think.
Yeah, because you could kind of see that, like, the jokes are catered to Chris D'Elia. Like even the scenes, I was like, I could see him in this role. Like,
I get that now, yeah.
But we'll never know.
No. Well, maybe.
Maybe one day.
Cut.
Snyder cut. D'Elia. the D'Elia cut. So what'd you like about this bad boy?
I liked it, like, for the most part. There was a lot of, like you said, it was nothing new and all of that. But I thought the premise was fun. And, I guess that's kind of where it ends. But like, sometimes you just want to fucking, shooting zombies movie.
Yeah.
But I like that, like, seeing... It's a cool, like, environment to see, like, Las Vegas like that.
Yeah, if any town was going to get fucked up by that,
I thought it was kind of like a Nazi zombies level, like Call of Duty. Because it's like... they have they show all those zombies. They're like, look, there's an Elvis zombie. There's this zombie. And it's like, yeah, they're always in like some sort of costume. But yeah, it was cool. I like the idea of like it's kind of an undead army that's kind of organized in a way. They're not just lumbering fools.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they don't really they don't really expand on that enough.
No,
it's kind of lame, but what about you?
I mean,
what did you like about it?
I did like that it was a bit different. I was like, okay, you're giving me something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, you knew what you were going to get. It had the promise of the premise, right?
Yeah.
So
when the movie started, the first 5 minutes into it, I knew exactly what I was in for.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing.
Right. I was going to say, actually, I liked the intro. I liked that little conversation where they're like, what do you think we're carrying? The Holy Grail? And they also say the Staff of Ra.
The Staff of Ra, yeah.
From Raiders of the Lost Ark. But Yeah, I like that little
the Ark of the Covenant
fun conversation. Yeah, that was cool.
Like, yeah, it sets it up. It's kind of like the concept of how it's all set up is a little messy to me.
Mhm.
Like the story writing is a little bit messy, and that's kind of where I get lost a little bit in it. I'm like, I understand what you're doing, but at the same time, it's like, but why kind of thing. I'm like, okay.
You mean like the original zombie?
Yeah, like that whole arc. I'm like, that one to me is a little bit like, I understand it has to be out of the norm.
Which they never answer.
They never really answer that.
Who is this guy? Like,
yeah, what's the deal
where
with
did he
this?
come from? Why is he smarter than the other zombies?
Yeah.
Like,
What's going on with that? But, we'll get into that. But overall, I did like it. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it like a 6.5. Almost,
okay.
Teetering on a 7.
I was thinking about the same thing.
Teetering on a 7.
So right now it's sitting at a 5.9 on IMDb.
Ooh, I gave it more credit than I did.
Yeah.
I rarely do that.
I thought that was low as well. I guess just people don't want these movies anymore. That's what's got
another zombie movie on Netflix.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's a very unoriginal movie.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people don't like it.
Mm.
There's nothing like down to every like moment in the movie. They're not doing anything new at any point.
I think what it kind of has to feel is that like he just spent a weekend watching all of his favorite movies, like like Ocean's 11 and like Evil Dead and stuff, and like other superhero movies, and he was like, "How can I put these all into one movie?" Like, because that's kind of what it feels like.
Probably.
And it also has like the feel of other movies that I kind of liked, but I also really disliked. Like at the intro is very like. It's very Zombieland-ish. Like, it's kind of just the same concept as the first two Zombieland movies. Like, the intro. And I was like, that's not really original. I was like, you kind of just ripped off what they did. And same thing with the soundtrack thing, where they tried to do the James Gunn thing. And they tried to make the soundtrack the big thing to the movie. Yeah. Like, they're like, look at all these cover songs that we have in the movies. And they're like, isn't this cool? Like, Guardians of the Galaxy style? Like,
but Guardians of the Galaxy had the real songs.
Yes.
This one has cover songs.
This one had a bunch of covers, which the covers were cool.
Yeah, I generally dislike when they put cover songs in most movies because they're in there because it's cheaper. And that's the only reason, and it's hard for me to ignore that. Like, they're not in there because it's artistic and cool because it's different.
You want to pay for the rights to Viva Las Vegas?
100%. That is why they're in there.
Because that's probably fucking expensive. That's Elvis money, right?
And it's also the worst modern trailer trope, in my opinion, where it's this slow, like, dark cover of this really famous Beatles song or whatever while fucked up shit's happening in this trailer. I fucking hate that shit. Yeah. It's so annoying, and it's in every trailer. When Dune did it, I was so furious because I'm highly anticipating that movie, and I think it'll be good, but they have some shitty cover in there, and I can't remember what it is, but it's... Anyway, that annoys me.
Just an acoustic version of Dragula. Burn.
Well, exactly. That's what they would do. Because it's kind of like, like that's zombie related.
Yeah.
So they do. Actually, I was going to say, so they have Zombie by the Cranberries.
At the end. Yeah.
In it. And that's
not a cover.
That's not a cover.
But if you pay attention, it's also not the original version. It's the live version. It's the strings version.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the original one.
And there you go. It's
not the original one. Because I was listening, I was like, this doesn't sound like the original one. And I think it's credited as something else.
Then, yeah.
I think it's like the strings, the acoustic, more acoustic version of that song.
Yeah, so it's probably cheaper. So I was thinking, though, that seems like an obvious song to have in a zombie movie,
Well, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah. But I was wondering, is this the first movie to put it in a zombie movie?
I would have to think so.
It's probably.
I've seen most of the big ones, and I haven't seen it.
It is the Cranberries, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I liked that. I mean, I like that song.
California Raisins.
It's a little overplayed, but.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's because the girl passed away last year.
Oh really?
Or 2 years ago or something. She drowned in the tub.
Ooh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah. She might be a zombie. Alright, never mind. That's a bad one.
You know that's staying in, right?
Oh yeah. Leave that in. Alright. Well, now I got my cocktail going here. Let's talk about like the meat of the movie here, like the nitty gritty stuff. So this is like spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to be giving away most of it like now.
Yeah.
Which it's on Netflix. Just go watch it. Like
exactly.
It's not like, it's a bit long, but fuck. It keeps you interested.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But
good popcorn movie.
It is a good popcorn movie. I would say that. Yeah. Like, yeah, I would recommend.
What else are
it.
you gonna fucking watch?
Yeah, they don't have anything
There's
fucking
nothing
else going
else
on there. Yeah.
Oh, before we get into the dislikes, I did want to mention too. This is the most expensive movie that Netflix has ever made at $90 million.
That's it, eh?
Mm.
Wow. You think
that's the Netflix model. I mean,
they're models. Like, let's not spend a fuckload of money, right?
Quantity over quantity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're just making. Well, I think it's because of the quarantine or whatever. But every other fucking week, all they put out is fucking documentaries. Like, that's all they're putting out, and I'm like, you don't have. And the movies that they're releasing, it might be different in Netflix in the US. I don't know, but it's all movies from fucking like 2004, 2007. I'm like, The Machinist. I was like, and they're like, and it's like, get ready for next week when this drops. I was like, everyone's already seen this. Like, we're just like,
yeah, true.
You know, yeah. So getting into spoilers. So yeah, just go check it out.
General dislikes.
Yeah. Now, what did you not like about this bad boy?
God, there is a lot. There's a lot of moments where it's kind of just like, why? But
I agree. As you mentioned it before, there was a lot of cheese. Like, especially like when you brought it up, you know, they're just walking. They're all in their little crew and they're walking through to the casino and they're all walking in a straight line. And there's just like that side conversation, like, yo, do we really need this person? Like, this guy's like, and I'm like sitting there, I was like, you couldn't write anything better than this. Like, it's been done so many times. I'm like,
and throughout the movie, they do a bunch of those little side fucking.
But they
talks.
don't go anywhere.
And they don't say anything of value.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't lead to anything. And it doesn't build the character at all. And I'm like, so why are you... it's like conversation filler.
The only thing I'm thinking when those are on screen is get back to the movie. Like,
yeah. I'm like, shut up. Yeah. Like, shut up. If you're not fucking blasting something or like...
There's one funny one. Oh, yeah. They have one at the end. I guess we're in spoilers. But when they're like getting back to the helicopter, you know, they're running from the main fucking crazy zombie. And then Tig Notaro's like not there. And then all of a sudden she's there. They have a little talk before getting on the helicopter.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, shut the fuck up and get
the fuck out of there.
Meanwhile, there's a fucking bomb that's supposed to go off any second. They know that too. Why are they standing there?
And you know what?
And
they just didn't make it, and she dies because they fucking waited too long.
It's like the Greenland.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what made me you know what's even more funny with that? Okay, so you know how like the German guy locks him in the locks the one guy in the vault or whatever? Mm-hmm. Spoilers, the guy gets out at the end, right? Because the whole time you're thinking like, because you know when they come up on the building, Batista comes up with his daughter and Tig Notaro's character's gone in a helicopter and she's like, wait for us.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, she's definitely going to come back, right? Like,
well, yeah. But at the same time, I was thinking like, what fucking reason does she have to leave them, really?
Yeah, because she dies anyway.
Well,
like,
yeah.
But like, that's the thing. Like, if she had just left, she would have been fine. But I think they had to make it so the girl survives. Otherwise, everyone dies for nothing. Like, kind of thing.
But there's no money in the helicopter.
No, there's no more money at this point.
They never got the money.
Yeah, like that measly like $200,000 or whatever.
That's in like his vest. But Tig Notaro, like, she knows that there's no money, so
what the fuck she
what's the point in taking off?
And when she comes back, she drops that shit line. She's like, somewhere between leaving your ass and saving mine, I grew a conscience. I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and fly the fucking thing.
Yeah, there were a lot of shitty lines in there. Like when she first sees the helicopter and she goes, what a piece of junk or whatever.
What a piece of junk.
Which is from Star Wars. It's like she has like 5 lines in the movie, and one of them has to be a line taken from another movie.
Must go faster, right?
Nobody cares about these shitty fucking references that you're making.
You see Batista, and they're like, must go faster, must go faster.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Spielberg's just sitting there like, again?
You know what? I'd be more interested if in this movie they only did lines from other movies.
Oh yeah,
every line was like...
I mean, why the fuck not? You're already fucking just making a movie about about like 100 different other movies. Yeah. You might as well just fucking pepper in lines from other famous movies too, like, you know, like, did you get the money? Oh, I'll be back, or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know, something like that. You know, true, I'll have what she's having. Like a zombie's eating somebody.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities.
I'll have what she's having. It works.
That definitely would have been better.
Yeah, it would have made the movie way better. Because there's no comedy. You lose because I think D'Elia was supposed to be the comedy, like the comic relief. But because he's not in it, and they cut them all out and they added her and she's very deadpan, there is really no comic relief except for like the German guy in some
the German
instances.
guy has some. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's not in it that much, really.
No, not really. Spoilers, he doesn't fucking make it out of this one either. Oh, like Glorious Bastards.
Oh my god, okay, we haven't talked about that.
Oh, the booby traps. You remember the booby traps in the vault? Where they get the zombie to walk through?
Oh my god.
A la Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Was that, like...
I don't know. I don't know who wrote that in there.
But there's no way that's really in a casino, right? Like,
no.
I feel like a fucking idiot for asking that question.
But, no, it's not.
But, like, when they go... He knows about that.
Yeah.
Like, he knows there's booby traps. And he's like, oh, they're only supposed to...
They're non-lethal.
Yeah, they're supposed to be non-lethal. So I'm like, wait, do they really have those? Like, maybe. I mean, casinos have a famous history for, beating the shit out of people and killing people and shit like that.
It made me think of, like, in Resident Evil when those, like, they're trying to get into the hive and then the lasers are cutting everybody up. Also zombie movie too.
Right.
Like, this one also had a lot of elements of like a Resident Evil movie, kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if you look at it, Resident Evil, like they're going in there under Raccoon City to stop this thing, but like the zombies are isolated within that one thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of within that same, also like Resident Evil, maybe they get out, maybe they don't. I don't know, to the zombies.
Yeah. Like, do you want to talk about that ending for
Might as well.
Yeah.
Guy gets locked in the vault.
Yeah, and then the nuke destroys Las Vegas.
But because he's in that vault underground,
he comes out at some point. I don't know when.
He's got all that money, right?
Yeah, and so he goes like,
he's got $200 million. Yeah,
I'm getting the hell out of here, and
gets a private plane, starts flying somewhere. He's on the plane.
He's going to Mexico City.
Yes. And he gets on the plane, and then the flight attendant's like, oh, you don't look so good. Maybe you drank too much. And then, obviously, even before that happens, when he walks in there, I'm like, this motherfucker's obviously been bit, and they're obviously setting up a fucking sequel. And lo and behold, he's in the fucking bathroom on the plane, and he's like, oh, I've been bit. And he's like, oh, fuck. And then it just goes black, and I'm like, bravo. You fucking set up a sequel in, like, the shittiest fashion possible.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed by that. At the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. They want to do a sequel, but I was like, it was kind of a good ending if this one guy gets all that money. It's just, like,
I think that would have been a good, if he was just like an island or something, and he was loaded.
It's just like a fun ending, right?
Yeah, but no.
No, of course they can't do that.
No, they have to set it up for a possible sequel.
And then so I guess what they're saying is he's going to Mexico City, where
it's like it'll just run rampant.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest cities in the world.
It is. I think it might be the biggest city in the world.
Perhaps, yeah.
And then and obviously I think they're setting it up obviously for a sequel,
So yeah, we're on sequels now. Okay, so I want to mention there are two, not one, but two in the works.
Are you fucking kidding me already? Okay.
So one is a TV show that Netflix is making. It's an animated TV show with nobody attached. People attached. Nobody involved in this movie is attached. So, I don't know. Whatever. And then the second one, which I was like, what? That actually kind of blew my mind, is a prequel of the German guy, Matthias Schweinhofer. Very, very nice. Yeah. It's a prequel of him leading a group through Las Vegas.
Wait a minute. I thought he'd never been there before.
Don't they say that? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I never killed a zombie before.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make a fucking lick of sense.
If in this movie he's killing zombies, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Because that's his character arc, I guess, in this movie. It's he finally shoots a zombie. And he seems so out of place in the movie. Mm. So if he's already been there in this prequel, I don't know. The one other fucking super surprising thing is he's directing it. Does
anybody want to do the sequel here? No. I'll do it. I will. Can Fassbender be in it? I don't think he's going to be down. Oh, no. What about Christoph Waltz? No, I don't think so.
But yeah, that. What do you think about that? That's kind of interesting. And it's also completed, apparently.
So they've already I think what they do is they're like, fuck it, just make it. And then they're like, we're going to put it out anyway. Cause
they must have done it at the same time and used the same sets, right?
They must have.
Because it's in Las Vegas, so...
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just think it's silly. Like, it's like, why would you...
It is silly.
And you set it up... Why would you do a prequel and, like, an animated series, like, spin-off when you've set it up for a sequel, right? Like, I'm not saying this movie's fucking...
I know. That's the other thing I thought, too. Is, like, yeah... Because when I saw that they were doing... they were making another one, and I saw the German guy was in it, I was like, well, he dies. In the movie, like, clearly. I was like, there's no way he gets out of that. But then I saw it was a prequel, and I was like, but why?
But maybe he does get Game of Thrones rule. You don't see him die.
That's true. I mean, yeah, he closed the door with a horde of zombies behind him, and he has zombies on him.
Maybe he gets out of it. I mean, remember that fucking... Yo, you know what the sickest scene in that movie was? You know when the guy locks the girl? Oh, no, he throws the... Also, another scene that they kind of ripped off, you know, and they're kind of like ducking through the zombies and stuff like that. That's very like Silent Hill. Like there's that scene in Silent Hill where she's like
standing there.
Yeah, when she's going through them. They also ripped that. I'm not saying it's a rip off. I'm just saying I've seen this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, when the guy throws the glow stick and throws her off, and then like she's just fucking fighting off those zombies and thing, and I was like, yo, that was the best scene in the whole movie because I was just like on the edge. I was like, is this girl gonna make it out of here?
I thought that too, and I knew that she wasn't going to make it out. And I was like, okay, this girl's the most badass so far, and they're getting rid of her first.
Yeah. Well, no, the guy who dies the first is the guy from Sons of Anarchy, which you obviously know. You're like, this guy's going down first, obviously.
Yeah, obviously they're bringing in
to kill him. Yeah.
Like,
you kind of can tell right away, right? But yeah, when and then he locks her, and then she gets out of all that, and you're like, oh my god! And then the guy locks her in the room, and then she comes out the side door and she's shooting him, and I'm like,
she comes out the window.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty chill, like.
But she's being taken down by zombies, but she's still like yelling at her boy, like, go on without me. And I'm like, why aren't you yelling at him to say that the security guy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That guy is the big
kill
conflict.
The security guy.
Yeah, she's like fighting back. They're like, just go. The last thing I would do would be like, this guy locked me in there, and he's gonna fucking kill all of you if like,
just yell to kill him.
Yeah, because he tries to fuck them over like 3 or 4 different times after that.
Yeah, and well, we find out that he fucks them over a bunch of times, and like, they really went in to get like the head of. You know, one of the main queen zombies.
Yeah.
Because it can build a zombie army.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with that? Like, okay, so it's like one alpha zombie that just creates other zombies kind of thing?
Something like that.
Yeah. Did you ever see that movie, The Time Machine?
They can control them is what they're saying. Yes.
They look like the bad guys from that.
Which are called warlocks, I think. I don't know why I remember that, man.
What JR token shit is this? Like,
I don't know why I remember that, but yeah.
They are not for eating. Like, yeah, what a weird, like, twist. What a writing job that was. Like, well, you know, like, they're like this. Are they aliens? Like, that was another thing.
I think so.
I think it's an alien, right?
Yeah. But it also looks pretty much like a human, so I don't know.
I mean, it's a good thing that they're making more of these because I have so many questions, and I really think.
Also, did you notice that like some of them looked like robots? Did you see that? Like they blast a head off, and you see like a.
Oh yeah, and it's like no, it's like
blue shit.
Yeah, it's like blue shit, like kind of like, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, and it also reminds me of Kingsman when they blow everyone's heads up, and
so I looked it up because I was like, I swear that one of them looked like a robot. And Zack Snyder confirmed that some are robots, but he doesn't know why. Yes, I just made some robots.
Are you serious? That's an actual thing?
That's what it said, yeah.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. Why would you do that?
Like, because I noticed one of them has blue eyes. None of the others do. Why does this one have blue eyes?
I kind of did notice that too, that some of them were different. And I was like, whatever. I was like, I guess it's just because they're different people, right? Uh-huh. But for him to actually like actively be like to confirm that, to be like, I don't know really what the fuck was going on. It kind of leaves me with like a little bit of. I might knock my rating down a bit just based on that, because that's kind of fucking stupid if you think about it. Like, you know, I hate when people do that. They're like, I don't know, just because, and I'm like, you can't do that. Like,
well, this movie does seem like one of those.
I know I know it's illogical to begin with, but like. Throw me a fucking bone. Like, just give me a little bit of, like, clarity as to what is going on here. Like, or as to why it is like this. Instead of, like, that French girl is just like, oh, they're just, like, hybrids. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, pourquoi? Like, you know? Like, why? Like, just tell me why.
Yeah, yeah.
And why the fuck does she know all this? And then she
I
dies.
know, yeah.
And
yeah. She knows about the whole... Well, I guess she's the one that goes in and out because she leads people in and out. There's that little tunnel, which first of all... why is conveniently one container facing that way where she can open it and go through?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, why can't you just dig under the containers?
What other movies are like that where they're like, I can't think of any that you might, but like, what are ones like an example of that where like someone's like, oh, I can get you there, but we need this person. Like, you know, like they get like a guide.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I don't know, like Sicario maybe?
Also, I mean, that's an example.
They
of
go
one
through
of, but I'm saying like a dangerous place where they're like, we need a guide. Like, you know, one of those classic, like someone who knows how to get there.
Yeah, I mean, Jungle I just watched kind of recently.
Oh, yeah.
With Daniel Radcliffe.
I mean, even The Rock, if you want to look into that, even kind of. Like,
obviously, like, yeah, a shitload of movies. I don't know. But yeah, so, yeah, what's your point?
I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I was just like, that was just another instance of like, I was like, okay, like a little cliche.
Yeah,
like,
you need the guide, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they need to get in. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows the way in. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. And her role's never really explained really to me either, really. She's French. She's there.
No. She replaces the head with the money counter.
The money counter, that's right. Because the guy's trying to steal the head because he's like, the head is worth 10 times what's in the safe. And then
they give it back at the end. And I was like thinking of, I was like, are they going to do a Jurassic Park 3 scene, you know, where he gives the eggs back to the raptors?
Yeah.
The raptors take it. And so they kind of do, but he still kills him, and so she throws the head off the
And I guess
building.
it's because that guy has the fetus of his, because the guy cuts the head off. I remember he's holding the fetus, and the fetus, they ripped the fetus out of the girl.
Yeah.
And he's holding it. And I was like,
this is what I was wondering. Why does this main zombie care so much about this little fetus?
I think it's because he's trying to, I think what they're setting up is that, because remember they say, they're like, oh, the zombies are content with staying within that realm. Like, they're not trying to get out. They're just content with staying in there. Yeah. And I think what they're trying to establish is that they're building their own community. Yeah. Because he knocked her up.
They're the army of the dead, if you will.
True that. True that. I thought the army of the dead was like, you know, like them going in. Like, I never thought of it that way.
Oh, God.
I thought they were because they're going to die going in there, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay. No. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It seemed pretty obvious to me, but yeah. And that's why they want to use the alpha zombie power to create armies to use in war. Which is like
stupid.
How are you gonna? They're like, oh, if you get this head, then we'll learn how to control it. No, you're not gonna learn how to control it. The fucking alpha thing is gonna learn how to control it, and it's just gonna kill everybody.
Just another issue of mankind fucking with stuff that they don't understand. As we've seen.
But I was like, why does this fucking main zombie care about this baby so much when he can just bite a person and that person becomes their little
I think it's because that's his kid. Right? He impregnated that girl kind of thing. And remember the fetus is still alive because the head is still alive? The fetus is like beating in his hand and he's like, oh,
I didn't think it was.
The fetus was dead. The fetus was still alive.
I thought it was dead because he like screams.
No, he screams and then they all go chasing after them because they want to get the head back because she's still alive. Oh. Remember she's trying to bite them and they're holding head? Yeah, that's why the fetus isn't dead. I didn't realize that. Because they don't die because there's zombies in the brain.
Okay, so then I guess the fetus dies when they throw the head off.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the fetus dies, and then it's all over.
I was curious what that fetus would become. Oh,
did you? An upstanding member of society, perhaps?
I don't think so.
It was just really an ad for Planned Parenthood.
You know what I was going to ask you, too? This is like the White Walkers from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, they have the main guy, and he's even on a horse.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then they're like, they have the ones that the White Walkers infect that are the shitty zombies that are easy to kill.
Maybe the zombies are actually the good guys, like the apes in Planet of the Apes. and the humans are the bad guy. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It depends what side you're on, I guess.
But yeah. No, I don't know. I just think it was like, it's just a bit of a reach for me. And a few of those, like I was like, what? I understand that he's trying to be original, but you lose me a bit on those ones. outside of that, anything else? Any other gripes you had with this bad boy? Or I mean, overall, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, like I said before, I would. Like, everyone's gonna watch this anyway. Like, so, like, yeah, it's on fucking Netflix, right?
Yeah,
so, like, I think that's another thing too. Is that
I think a lot of people were highly anticipating this movie. I think that's where the biggest like drawbacks can come from. Is like people are going to be disappointed by it.
What was that garbage movie that they put out with Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer? The one with like superheroes or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh my god. Oh god, that
Did you watch it?
No, but it looks so bad. I saw Bateman was in it and he's like got like crab claws and I was like what the fuck? I was like was that like why?
I don't know, man.
But like that's the thing, they make shit like this and they're just like, oh, here you go. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Do you?
no, not really. I mean, I'm not too keen on them taking the sequel route that they're taking. But
Yeah. Oh, by the way, those are called Army of Thieves is the prequel. So
okay.
they're
And
thieves in this one.
yeah,
Are they
right?
thieves again in the prequel.
It's a bigger crew this time.
Yeah, are they doing the same thing?
Bigger
and if
heist.
so, like,
It's
then why doesn't he
they're
have
taking
more
the
knowledge?
oceans route. You need if Oceans has taught us anything for a sequel, you need a bigger crew, a bigger heist, and it
Right.
needs to be more elaborate.
Right. By the way, how did you feel about that Ocean's 11 scene they literally did? Where they're like, so you go in like this.
Oh
and
my god. That's when I had the thought, I was like, I feel like he just made a movie with all of his favorite movies in
He
it.
must have just recently watched Ocean's 11 and was like, and he just did Dawn of the Dead or something. He was
Yeah.
like, I wonder
How could I amalgamate these
That's
two?
100% what
Yeah.
happened. Oh, and the animated series is going to be called Lost Vegas.
Like Lost Vegas. Like,
Yeah. Lost Vegas.
but didn't they? But that doesn't make any sense because they blew up Vegas. Obviously, it's gone. We all we're aware of that.
Maybe that's a prequel too, or it has something to do with the aftermath, and maybe the zombies are still alive in there or some shit. I don't know.
But aren't the zombies
But
going to Mexico?
None of these are about Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
Yeah. So maybe he never makes it to Mexico.
no, it says he's landing.
It does say
They're
he's
landing.
but
They're like, put your seatbelts on, we're landing. And he's like, oh, fuck.
he could just go and fucking be like, to the pilots, like, I don't know. He could kill himself somehow. I don't know.
I don't think he does, though.
No, I don't think so either. But
He seems too proud. And he's got $200 million. If you know you're turning into a zombie, how fast do you think you can spend that money? Like, he's already on a private jet, so he's dumped a bit of that
He's going to
coin.
buy all the champagne on there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all the peanuts.
Oh, just, yeah. Like, and whatnot.
Yeah, Lost Vegas. So I was thinking about the movie Last Vegas.
Last.
You know, that one. That's the movie
It's not the
with,
Nick Cage movie?
No,
that's Leaving Las Vegas.
Which also could be a title for this movie. But Last Vegas is the one with Robert De Niro and Morgan Freeman and Michael Douglas, where they're all old guys and they go to Vegas again. Did you?
Oh, I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that the one where they do all the stuff that they wanted to do? No, I was like, no, that's bucket list.
It still is. It still is.
Except they added De Niro to this one.
So I would have liked this movie, except the heist guys are Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman, and Michael Douglas, all as old guys going.
Yeah, why haven't they made a movie like that yet? I mean, I'm sure they could get it. Like, imagine a movie where, like a heist movie where you have like Sean Penn, De Niro, Pacino, Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, throw in like John Voight or something like that, and like just make like an old guy heist movie. Yeah, make it like an old guy heist, like a classic
isn't
heist
that what
movie.
The Expendables is kind of?
Yeah, but The Expendables isn't really a heist movie. It's more
Right.
of like a shoot 'em up action movie.
Uh-huh.
But I would pay to go see a movie like
So,
that.
Expendables heist movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like 6 Expendables. Maybe one of them is a heist movie.
Yeah, that's also true. Oh, I can't believe they're still making those fucking movies. It's like, but it's all those guys who are past their prime, and it's like, oh, if Stallone wants to make another one, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, except for Statham. I mean, that guy still makes movies. I guess he's still pretty in high demand. I'd say he's probably one of the high, like upper tier, like
Maybe,
action
yeah.
people.
He's doing just did Wrath of Man.
Yeah, which I think we'll be doing soon enough.
Yeah.
The movie theaters are opening up, so.
Yes.
But yeah, so let's get that old guy heist movie going here. So yeah, I'm just gonna start petitioning for that.
With zombies or without zombies?
Fuck, I don't know. They must move pretty slow. I don't think you could have.
They both move pretty slow. They move as slow
as the zombies. Yeah, De Niro's like, can you fucking believe these guys?
These guys?
These guys? And Pacino, hey, a fucking zombie, hey! Ah! But Pacino's blind.
Morgan Freeman, well, the zombies came from another place.
They move slow. Sometimes they move fast. It really just depends on the movie.
I suppose.
Okay.